And we got it done, guys. We finally have not only automatic water, but automatic misters in our mobile chicken coop.
I can't stop yawning.
It's not even that late yet.
I know.
All right, hey guys, this is for you country folk real quick. I know you feel our pain. You ever have a big project that you're planning for, you buy all the parts for it, and then you get all geared up and motivated to do it, only to find out you can't find one of the most important parts that you need.
That you specifically bought for that
That you bought for that project. That's happened to us a few times now, and it's either that or a tool. And you know you have it, but you can't find it. I know you guys can relate. So we had to go all the way to town. I know you country people can understand. It's at least an hour turnaround. So we had to go all the way to town this morning. It's all right. It was a good little trip for us anyway. But
we got a good lunch.
Yeah, we had a good lunch too. So it wasn't a waste. But yeah, we had to go all the way to town for a couple of stupid little fittings because we couldn't find them. And even though we know for sure that we bought them maybe a month ago. And anyway, so today this video is about the automatic waters for the mobile chicken coops. We're finally going to get them installed. And I don't know if you guys have ever looked it up, but you would expect there to be a lot of options for automatic chicken waters, and there's really not. And we spent a lot of time doing some research on some different brands, and QC Supply is the company that we found that supplies this water. What's it? How do you say it?
Plasson.
It's like Plasson, I don't know.
Plasson.
Yeah, we'll put the links down below for the stuff that we're using. But yeah, I'd highly recommend doing business with these guys. I've talked to them on the phone a few times. Really, really helpful, really friendly people. It's just hard to find these days. Somebody actually answers when you call, you know. But we're going to get an automatic water system installed in here, and we're also going to install an automatic mister system. If you remember, we put misters in the coop back when we were having those 100-degree days, and thankfully it's not that hot anymore. But as part of this project, we want to put the misters in as well, and so we'll be showing you guys that process. And what am I forgetting? What am I missing?
I'm just really excited that I don't have to lift those waters anymore.
Yeah, that's the biggest problem with waters is they require a ton of water, especially in the hot summer months, and you're lugging around those heavy waters all the time. And Beautiful here, you know, she's got some pretty strong arms, but she hates moving those waters around, so she's pretty happy about getting some automatic water in here.
Not gonna lie, I have Devin move the waters for me.
Yeah, my man Devin helps out quite a bit.
Yep, he's strong. Stronger than me.
Yeah, building them muscles up. Anyway, we're going to show you guys that process, and we got a design down, so hopefully it's going to go pretty quick for us. And if all goes well, by the end of today, we're going to have automatic waters and misters in this coop. And if that goes well, we're going to put it in the laying hens coop as well. So we'll see y'all in a minute. All right, guys, so these are the type of waters that we were talking about. And the reason I'm showing you these real quick, because these connect to a tube to feed them. It's a low pressure system. And there's another part, again, I'll put this down in the link so you guys can find it, and you don't have to go through the work that I did, but there's another part that is called a saddle connector. And this saddle connector, you basically drill a hole with a 5/16 drill bit into a piece of PVC, and this thing will clamp around that PVC pipe, and then you can attach your low pressure hose down to your water. So you can run, the idea is you can run PVC headers. Say you have a really big coop, whether it's a mobile coop or even a stationary one, you can run really big or long headers of PVC, and anywhere you wanted to add a water, you would just attach a saddle connector and drop right off of it. It's a pretty cool little design. So that's what we're gonna do. 5/16 hole. This is what the saddle connector looks like, guys. You see there's the connector and a rubber grommet that basically just fits right over the top here and pushes up, it cinches down against that, and that's how it's going to get you your watertight seal. Again, this is a low pressure system, so in a high pressure system this may not hold, but it's going to do just fine with this.
You need a hand?
Yeah.
I think I'm more excited than the chickens for these waters.
Yeah, they're not going to care. They were going to get water regardless.
Yep.
We don't let them go without.
And another good plus with these waters, not just the fact that I don't have to fill them up every day, but they're gonna have fresh, clean, cold water every day instead of the water sitting out in the sun and then getting really hot all day and then, you know, getting filled up that evening and then the next morning. So they're gonna have really good clean water as well.
Guys, if you guys have a better solution to connecting a male hose thread to PVC, let me know. We had a very hard time finding the right fittings. We found these cheap fittings in the irrigation section at Lowe's that would work just fine, but I just don't feel like they'd hold up very well. And we finally today found this is a Pro line swivel adapter, and you can see it's a FHC female hose thread to FIP. And what that'll do, and here's one that's already open. So you got a hose connection on this end for your regular garden hose, and then it's got the correct threads for, in this case, is a 3/4 inch threaded PVC connector. So the idea is that we're going to come out of the back of the coop with the PVC pipe. We're going to do a 90. We're going to come down into this, and then this is a pressure regulator or a pressure reducer valve, whatever you want to call it, and that is going to connect to this because it's also got a standard hose thread on it. These waters have quite a few different pieces to them, which can kind of seem intimidating, but they're really not that hard to put together. So there's this little water bell here, and if you look at it, it actually says water level. This needs to be filled up with water. It's kind of like a counterweight for the water, and the instructions recommend that you add some sort of antifreeze in here instead of just water for obvious reasons. It's plastic. If you fill it up with water, it expands. When it's frozen, it'll crack. We've got some Rain-X additive for our windshield washer reservoir on the vehicles, so we're just going to put a few squirts of that in here and fill it up with water. But I want to show you guys. So water bell, this is your hanger, screws on like that, bell goes in over it. This is the valve mechanism here, and that slides over and it fits in these grooves and simply twists into place. And you see this comes out through the top, and that's essentially how it goes together. And then you've got, this is your hook, this is your hanger hook, so that's going to go here. And then you've got, it comes with a string. Probably be better to use something else. We're going to use a string for now. You use a chain or a wire, but it comes with a string and a little clip right here. And the way this clip works is you pull the string through, you make yourself a little knot, and then the idea is that you can loop it onto this like that, and have some adjustment. You can just twist this and it'll hold it as you hang it. That way you can raise or lower the water if you want to. So if you had you know, younger chicks versus taller girls, you want to raise or lower it. The other part is this clip. We couldn't find this in the directions, so we had to look it up, but this clip basically secures the tubing. This is how we're going to connect it to water, to the whatever you hang it with. So it's meant for this string, so you snap it on here like this on both ends, and the idea is that the tubing can snap in here, and that'll hold it along with whatever you're hanging it against, so the tubing's not flapping around, the birds aren't getting caught up in it or something like that. Next, you've got the little plastic type compression fitting that's going to go here on this. The hose just simply pushes across over that barb, and you get a good snug fitting. Remember guys, this is a low pressure system. And then you cut it to length, and then the other side you're going to hook the other hose up to this, and this is going to screw into that saddle connector that we put up there. So what we're going to do is we're going to run a piece of PVC pipe all the way down, maybe not all the way down, but somewhere probably about here back, that the water is going to tie into, and we're going to run it straight back. And for support purposes, we're going to drill a hole. I got about a 1-inch hole saw here. We're going to drill a hole through here for the PVC to come in straight out, and then we'll do a 90 on the outside, and we'll show you how we're going to plumb it all up later. How long do you think that took us?
30 minutes.
Too long, 30 minutes.
Well, after, I mean, we took a lot of trips back to the shop because we forgot a lot of stuff. But
yeah, maybe about an hour, hour and a half max, and we got it done, guys.
Yeah.
We finally have not only automatic water, but automatic misters in our mobile chicken coop.
I can't stop yawning.
It's not even that late yet.
I know.
We're going to show you how we got this together, guys. So you got water line coming in, quick disconnect, so it's easy to pop on and pop off without unscrewing it every time we move this thing or need to move the water hose around or borrow it even. Y connector, a little splitter. One side here goes to an automatic timer that connects to the mister system. I'll show you that on the inside here in a minute. But two different ways we can use this. During the hottest part of the summer, we can have it set on auto to where it turns on during the hottest part of the day. It goes off for a few hours to keep the birds cool. Or we come out here and hit manual. If it's on the auto mode, hit manual, and you can choose how long you want it to be on. So we could put this on for, you know, an hour or two at, say, 2 o'clock in the afternoon or something like that on a 100-degree day. And that's going to engage, and it's going to turn on the misters. You guys probably hear them turn on. I'll show you those on the inside here in a minute. On the other side of the Y, you've got a pressure reducer valve, which is necessary because these water drinkers are in a low pressure system. They recommend 10 to 12 psi. If you look, we've got it just above 10 psi on the gauge here. And this little valve here is got a little adjuster screw, and it goes all the way up to, it goes from 0 to 45 psi basically. So that's going to reduce our water pressure. That's that tricky connector I was telling you about that goes from the male garden hose adapter to PVC, and then PVC goes all the way up 90 degree, and then we got a PVC header on the inside, and I'll show you guys what that looked like. So here's what it looks like, guys. We're inside the coop now. I got Beautiful here, my model, and I'm going to take you guys in close so you can see the different elements of the water. It's a pretty cool little setup. So you got your bell here. This is the valve, and based on how heavy the water is in it, it pulls down and closes the valve shut. Water comes out here. So if I lift this, see where the water comes out? And to adjust how much water goes in here, you simply turn this screw right here and it adjusts that valve mechanism. So here's where your water tubes, water line's coming in. This is the hanger I showed you guys earlier, string adjuster for raising it up and down. This is that little clip that we couldn't figure out that just tidies it up a little bit. And there's your saddle connector where it ties in to the water header. And if you notice on the string here, guys, I have it connected to the cattle panel and not the PVC, because obviously it would put excess pressure on the PVC. And so if I back up, thank you, Beautiful.
Hi,
she's
you're welcome.
cutting the, how are you going to cut it like that?
What? I can't get an angle. Oh, there it goes.
There we go.
There we go.
This is how we cut our fingers. I'll take a step back while Beautiful's doing that, and you can see the mister system. We showed you guys that in a previous video. We just kind of put it in here just to get some coolness on the birds. We cut it down. This thing came with, I want to say 8 mister heads, and so we cut it down, made it shorter. We did 4, and the idea is we only want there to be mist in the back half of the coop, because the food's going to be hanging in the front, and we don't want the food to get saturated with water and get ruined on a frequent basis. So idea is misters in the back. They can be cool back here if they need to. That's also where the majority of the shade is. And then if they want some sunlight or food, they can come out over here, and depending on the wind direction, of course, the misters won't go over there. And we'll turn those on. You want to go turn those on? We'll turn those on so you guys can see what it looks like. That's it.
Simple in this way, so it feels amazing.
Yeah, I know, it feels great in here, guys. So yeah, these little misters put out quite a bit. As a matter of fact, we're probably going to turn them down from this setting, because if that's on for a few hours, that's going to really saturate everything in here. But we'll turn these down. We'll get them adjusted with that little Y valve on there, and get this set up on some sort of a timer while they're in here on these hot days. And that's going to really help keep the birds cool. When we started using these misters, when was it, a month ago?
Yeah.
Probably a month ago, when we started using these misters, those poor birds were so hot in the heat. We would come out here to check on them, and even though they were in the shade, they would just be panting, and you could just tell they were miserable. We got these misters in place, and Beautiful would come out here and they wouldn't even be panting. They would be really comfortable.
Yep.
Sorry guys, I got water on the camera. They'd be really comfortable, and they would not be panting.
If anything, they were trying to get away from the misters. There was times that I turned them off just because they were like all away from it.
Yeah, and they'd actually get tired of being wet or whatever, and then they'd move over. That's another reason to do half misters in the coop, so that they've got plenty of room here. Because right now we're in the front half and we're not getting wet at all. And that tarp folds down the back. We just rolled it up so that we could do that work there. So the wind is blocked coming this way, so that should keep the mist from blowing towards the front as well. So they'll have a little escape if they need it, but if they need to cool down, they can be in the back. All right, so it's already fall and the temperatures aren't that hot, so realistically we may or may not ever even use these misters this season anyway, but it was part of our design that when we did the plumbing, because of the splitter and the timer situation, we wanted to go ahead and get the misters in here. And misters are pretty low maintenance anyway. Even if they sit for a year, the worst thing that happens on misters, if you've ever owned them, is the little heads get gummed up or clogged up. And those are fairly easy to clean out, and they're also really cheap. You can buy like 20 of them for 10 bucks online. So if they get clogged up at the end of the year, next season, all you got to do is take the heads off, flush it out with water, and pop new heads on there, and you're good to go for the rest of the season, I'm sure. So that's why we went ahead and did it, in case you guys were wondering, because it is finally starting to cool off. Thank you, Jesus, for that.
I know.
It feels great.
Today the high was only 89. I think it got up to like 90. That was it.
Yeah, I got a little bit above 90, but it wasn't near as bad as it's been being, so we're very grateful for that. All right, guys, hope you enjoyed the video. Hopefully, if any of you guys were out there looking for an automatic water system, hopefully this helps you out, because man, we had a hard time finding a good solution online, and I feel pretty confident that this is going to last us for a while. These systems are also really easy to maintain from what I've read about online. There's not many parts to them, and they're readily available on QC Supply. So if anything goes wrong, like a little valve mechanism, it's pretty easy to swap out, and they're pretty affordable on the parts. So that's it, guys. That's what we came up with. Y'all let us know in the comments section if you like this design, or if you have any recommendations for improvements, man. We'd love to hear it. We're never too proud for advice. Thanks for watching, guys. We love you, and like and subscribe. We'd appreciate it for those of you that already have. Thank you very much, and hope you guys have a great day.
Bye, guys.